anyway, so lovely to see some faces. So our system is 100% predictable. If you implement it, you'll get the results. So what's the catch? The catch is it requires discipline. You end up working fewer hours, but you're going to have to be super disciplined. As I'm going to get to, if we do go on this journey together, we're going to help you implement a daily discipline of, as it'll turn out, about 17 tasks that you're going to do in a blocked off session of time in the morning, every single morning. If you are faithful with those tasks over a period of time and you're willing to be patient, normally around 6 months, you just keep being patient with the system, your business will explode. Your business will never be the same again. Your life will never be the same again. Yeah, I've seen it enough times. So I am very excited standing here. I'm hoping you as an office are going to catch a vision for what I'm going to recommend we do together. Okay, as a real estate agent, your most important activity is eating lunch. No. Drinking coffee. No. Your most important activity is generating leads. Generating leads. You're in the lead generating business. Right? Usually the most difficult part of the real estate transaction process is generating the lead in the first place. And if you can generate high quality leads, people who are predisposed to trusting you because they've been referred to you, the rest of it is actually downhill from there. As long as you can get an appointment with someone who has been referred to you. Once you've got the appointment, it's just administrative processes and customer service from there. The most difficult thing, the most important thing you do in this business is generate leads. Okay, we have to start today on that foundation because I am going to be teaching you a system today. And what is the system designed to do? It is a system designed to produce leads, a steady stream of warm, pre-qualified leads coming into your business. Now, unless you are convinced that the most important thing you do in your business is generate leads, you will not value a system that does that. Now, why is that important? Because if you don't value the system, if this thing doesn't get into your heart, if you're not absolutely convinced that this thing will work and it is worth investing in, you are not going to have the discipline required to do those 17 things, whatever they are, every single day of your life, come rain or shine. Discipline requires vision. Where there is no vision, people cast off restraint. They are not disciplined when there is no vision. So that's, if I can do anything today, it is just to get into your heart, actually. That's why I'm here this morning. I'll teach you a few things, yay, wonderful. But I want there to be a moment for you. A penny dropping, yes, I see it. Okay, and this is the foundation. You're in the lead generating business. I want to read to you a quote by a guy called Gary Keller. Gary Keller, as you probably know, is the founder and chairman of Keller Williams. He's a very clever guy when it comes to researching what works in real estate. He wrote a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, which I do recommend to you. And in that book, he says this. One of the first things that I ask when consulting one-on-one with someone who wants to earn more. Now, can I just stop there for a second? Can I see a show of hands, please? Don't be shy. You won't die if you raised your hand. How many of you in the room would like to earn more? Okay, good. That means you're ambitious. It's great to see I'm in a room of ambitious people. Okay, so if Gary Keller were to sit one-on-one with you for a coaching session, and you said to him, as you just said to me, I want to earn more, what would he ask you? What would he do? So here he says, I asked them, do you have enough leads that if you closed them properly, you'd be reaching your goals? If they answer no, okay, then what? So if you are in the room here today, and I ask you this question, as you sit here, you want to earn more, do you have enough leads consistently coming into your business at the moment that if you just closed a reasonable percentage of those, whatever you think that is, you'd make whatever you want to, the financial goal, you'd hit your financial goal. Do you have enough leads? Now, if you're honest enough to say no, again, that's fine. What does that mean? That means you're ambitious. It means you want more than you currently have. Good for you. But if your answer is no, what's he going to tell you? I tell them to put everything else on hold and go and get more leads. Guys, that is radical advice. That is a fundamental view of success in real estate. That is a willingness not to avoid the thing that none of us really enjoy if we're honest. The lead generating side of real estate. You love helping people and putting transactions together and seeing the joy that comes to a family that buy a new home or manage to sell the home at the price they wanted. You love walking people through the transaction and being an advisor to them. Many of you, that's what stimulates you about this industry. It's helping people. You didn't really sign up for the whole, real estate gym thing. That's not why you got in. But the point is, Gary Keller's saying, the most important thing you do is generate leads. If you don't have enough leads, you are in trouble as a real estate agent. Put everything else on hold. Forget about that overpriced seller who just won't listen to you. Just go and get more leads. Forget about driving that buyer around. You've shown 10 properties, they can not quite make their mind. Just go and get more leads. You know, one of the reasons many real estate agents work with the wrong people. What does that mean? Work too many hours, have too much failure. So you work too long. You work too hard, and you don't get the results that you feel like you should from your... One of the reasons that happens is that many estate agents don't have anyone else to work with. Why? Because they're not generating a fresh stream of leads all the time. Lead generation, that's the engine of your business. Okay, the best type of lead is what? So I'm going to suggest to you that not all leads are created equal. Some leads are better than other leads. So I'm going to suggest to you, and hopefully prove this to you, and I think your experience has probably proven this to you already, that the best type of lead is a referral. A referral. Okay, I've got a little scale of 1 to 10 in your manual there. What I want you to do, as I mention the various types of kind of lead generating activities that we do see in the industry, I want you to just put an X in the number out of 10, so it's on a scale of 1 to 10, that you think corresponds to the following lead generating strategies. So, how good is door knocking as a lead generating strategy to bring in a steady stream of high quality leads? Just put an X, 1 to 10. How good is door knocking? How good is cold calling? So kind of telemarketing. How good is direct mail? So, you know, some of you may rate that higher, some of you may rate it lower. Just give yourself a number as to what you think about direct mail. How good is advertising? Maybe print advertising, put an X for that, and online advertising, put an X for that. How good are open houses, or as you call them, show houses? So some of you would rate that slightly higher. I know some agents who love doing open houses. I know others that absolutely hate them. That lady, Zarita, that you saw the testimonial of earlier, was one of my coaching clients. She doesn't like show houses, and we've taught her a referral system that enables her to sell everything on private showing. She never does show houses. Her weekends are her own. She can schedule her own appointments. But maybe you like them, so maybe you've got a slightly higher number. I don't mind. This is your analysis, okay? So how would you rate a referral? Let's say from a current client or a past client, where they have spoken to their friend and said nice things about you, they give you the details, and then when you phone Mrs. Edwards, this potential seller, she's heard nice things about you, she's already expecting your call. How would you rate that out of 10? 10 out of 10. Yeah, I mean that's a 10 out of 10, isn't it? Yeah. That's the holy grail of real estate marketing. Okay, I'm going to share with you a lot of research at my initial training course. So my training course is called the Successful Real Estate Agent. It's about a 7-hour course, and you do it online. Now we're going to get into later what we're doing together with you as a company, but that's going to be your first step, is to do that course. On that course I'm going to share lots of research with you, because my whole system is built on research. We know this works. It's worked with tens of thousands of people all over the world. Here's one piece of research that I think is pertinent to our discussion now. The National Association of Realtors releases a study, I think it's every year, called something like the research on home buyers and sellers or something. And in 2015, which is the latest figures I have, they did a study of where people get their real estate agent from, and they discovered, so the first one there, 42% of sellers find their agent through a referral. 42%. Right? On top of that, a further 24% use the agent that they previously worked with. Now, I hope you hear that. 66%, 2/3 of every home selling in the United States is done either by a referral or repeat business. And yet, how few real estate agents have a system that proactively generates referral and repeat business for them. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to rate, in the little block I've given you in your manual there, I want you to rate how good your average lead is, or how good you are at generating high quality leads. Just kind of rate your lead generating activity as a real estate agent. Give yourself a number out of 10. My question to you is this: do you have a referral system? If the best kind of lead is a referral, surely the most important system to have in your business is a referral generating system. If generating leads is the most important thing you do. I mean, it just stands to reason. Do you have a referral system? You say, well, how do I know if I've got a referral system? Well, let me ask you a question. How many referrals will you receive in the next 30 days? Now, if you can't tell me, if you can't give me a range, I will receive between 15 and 25 referrals in the next 30 days predictably, because that's what I do every month and I know how to produce them. If you can't tell me that, then you don't have a system. You know why? Because systems ensure consistency. That's what they do. That's why you have systems. Okay, so my job at the Successful Real Estate Agent Seminar is to shift you. First, there's two things I want to do. I want to help you shift from working with low quality leads where it takes too long to make an appointment, too long to earn their trust, people don't return your calls, they treat you with disrespect, all of that. I want to shift you from that to working with the 10 out of 10 leads so that all your clients are referred clients. They treat you with respect, you've got far higher closing ratios. I can show you the stats on the benefits of working with referred clients. They're huge. So I want to shift you to the 10 out of 10 lead, and then second thing, I want you to earn or produce more of them. So higher quality leads and more of them. That's what I'm going to help you do. Good news is I can do that. Now, why can I do that? I don't have time to tell my story, but 20, when I was 23, 20 years ago, I stumbled onto something. It's a story for another time. I stumbled onto a secret, a key, that has not only built several businesses for me successfully by referral. I've implemented the system myself in the businesses that I've built. Not only that, but it has enabled tens of thousands of the most successful real estate agents around the world. As I have taught this, and as other people like me have taught this, it has enabled many, many, many people to have the same results. The good news is this: I can teach you how to do it, and you can do it. It doesn't matter how new you are in real estate. It doesn't matter how old you are. The only thing that matters is, are you teachable? Are you willing to learn? That's the only thing that counts here. If you're open to doing something differently, and then you've got the discipline to do the tasks, this will work for you. It's good news. Okay, most people generate referrals passively. Most people generate referrals passively. Why? You know what passively means? You just kind of wait around for them to come. You don't really do anything to go and get them. Most people do it that way. Why? Because most people think that the only way of getting referrals is by, there's a three-word English phrase we use to describe this thing where I do a great job for someone, they tell a friend, and my phone rings, and word of mouth, correct. So most people equate working by referral with word of mouth. And those are two completely different things. How many of you would be willing to admit that you have done a great job with a client? You feel like you went above and beyond. You went the extra mile. Can I just see a show of hands? I hope every hand in the room goes up. I mean, that's what you guys do. Okay? So, how many of you, so everyone's hand went up, how many of you have done a great job with a client before and not received a referral from that client? Can I see your hands, please? Okay, it's the same hands. Everyone's hand goes up. Now, why is that? Let me tell you why that is. Because you don't have a referral system. That's why. Referrals must be generated proactively. Proactively. And that is done by having a system. It's done by having a system. Okay, so what is a good system? Well, this is basically what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a computer program, although that'll be part of the system. I'm talking about something that you have in your business, okay? Your system. And this system requires certain inputs. Okay, certain things that you do with regularity. Okay, inputs. These are daily disciplines. These are things that you are consistent with, whether you're busy, whether you're not busy. You do those things, you put the inputs into the sausage machine, and if the inputs are right and the machine is a good machine, it spits out the right output. It spits out a nice sausage. In this case, if you have the inputs right, this system will predictably produce the outputs. Okay, in our situation, what are the outputs? Well, repeat business and referral business. That is what you need in your business, a system, and they ensure consistency. So that's the next line in your workbook. Systems ensure consistency. So, why is consistency important in real estate? Well, I'm going to draw out for you a graph. On this graph, it's a little bit mathematical, so just bear with me. I'm going to graph out for you the month-by-month income of the average real estate agent. Okay? Just bear with the technicality of it. So, month-by-month average income of the estate of an average estate agent. Sorry. So, I hope there's no one in the room that relates to that, but that's the bane of real estate, isn't it? I mean, it's like feast or famine, you know, highs and lows. And what this thing, it's a hugely emotional journey. And what it looks like is on the way up, we kind of start at the bottom here. We know we've got to get busy, we've got to get our name out, we've got to put together some deals, and so we go into what I've always called stir up the dust mode, okay? So we're not quite sure what we're doing, and we just begin. You know, we begin stirring up the dust and more, and we drop some flyers in every post box, we start knocking on doors, we start cold calling people, we start having too much coffee in coffee shops, and we're going out, and it's unbelievably exhausting, this whole thing, okay? Yeah. And you're kind of hoping that you're going to take off at some point. So you're going to stir up the dust mode because you need business, you need leads. And now we're generating leads, and we're putting deals together as we go up this very steep slope. We get to the top, and whoo, we found a couple of clients. We now got to, and we put them together. Now it's a matter of just like closing those deals and the administrative processes that happen along with closing those deals. And here's the problem. When you get into this very busy closing mode in your business, lots of admin, lots of paperwork, what do you stop doing? Generating leads. Because you can't do this and this at the same time. So we stopped this. And I mean, we didn't really like doing that anyway, so we stopped it. Because we've got business now. And and then you manage to close the deal, you're going to get paid a few months later, but you wake up on that morning. And You know what's coming. And you have the sick feeling in the bottom of your stomach, and like panic stations, your husband looks at you across the bed, your wife looks at you, and they can tell what's about to happen because you've gone into like crisis mode, and you start again. You know, the flyers, the phone calls, the door. Okay. So, and the problem, of course, with this inconsistency of income in the real estate industry is that it clashes with an unbelievably consistent system. It's called the National Expense Collection System. Okay? Can you just phone up your, like Vodacom at the end of the month and say, look, I've had a bit of a tough couple of weeks. Could we just delay the cell phone payment for another month or two? Can you phone up your car payment, your house payment, the medical insurance guy, the electricity you need for your house, the water bill, the rates? Can you just delay those things to coincide with your fluctuating income? No, you can't. So we have this incredibly stressful environment that most estate agents live in. Inconsistent income. Many of them are not earning enough. They spend too much money, and they're working far too many hours and not enjoying what they do. I mean, that is a picture of kind of the average estate agent. However, the top agents who implement a system like mine, what they manage to do is they manage to implement a lead generating system into their business that continues to generate leads even when they're in a very busy closing and administrative mode, because there are certain daily disciplines that they do whether they're busy or not. And what that does is that flattens out the income curve. And if you're faithful with the system, it begins increasing your income as well. Okay? That's what I can help you do. If you've got the discipline, I can help you do that. Okay. Over the page, there's just a list of some of the kind of traditional cold lead generating techniques. We've spoken about those: cold calling, expired listings for sale by owners, door knocking, open houses, office duty, direct mail, advertising. I mean, these are some of the sort of traditional lead generating techniques, and I'm not opposed to these things. I think branding is a necessary and valuable part of a global strategy. And in fact, if you're good at branding or marketing, it will augment your prospecting activities. But I'm saying many estate agents confuse marketing with prospecting, with the relational side of their business. Whereas, so I'm all for building a brand, having prominence, etc. No problem with that. But at least if you've got a lead generating system, you can make better choices, more intelligent choices around what you do spend money on or not. Okay. One other thing about these cold lead generating, okay, I don't want to make a big song and dance of it. I just want to ask you this. Do you enjoy it when someone does those things to you? Do you enjoy it? Like 7:30 at night, your telephone rings. It's a telemarketer. They've got your number off some database. Hello, how are you? Is how the phone call always starts. Now, what is your response immediately? Hi, darling, could you put my dinner in the warming drawer? Because I get to talk to a telemarketer now. No. That's not your response, okay? If your response is something like mine, it's just, where'd you get my number? Please take me off your database. Goodbye. So, we don't like it, but then we get into real estate, and then what do they tell us to do? And we get to be the bad guy. It's a conflict of conscience. Maybe you've struggled with that. You don't want to do to other people what you don't want done to you, but you don't know any other way because you've got to generate leads from somewhere. I can show you a better way. It's about building relationships. It's about building authentic relationships of trust with a pre-selected group of key people. I'm going to recommend between 50 and 100 people ideally that I'm going to call your advocates, and you build deep, genuine, value-based relationships with those people. You be a blessing to them. And you have some dialogues and some systems that you put in place to proactively get the referrals from them, and you will be staggered how much business you can do with just 100 people. You'll be staggered. I'll show you some of the numbers just now. All right, how to develop. So what's the goal? The goal is to be invited in. You want to be invited into people's homes, invited into every transaction, not forcing your way in. You want to be recommended into every transaction by people that they trust, so that as you walk in, they roll out the red carpet, they see you as a trusted advisor. You want to establish yourself as the trusted advisor of the people on your database, so that when people invite you and they actually are excited to meet with you and they believe that you can help them. Okay, the way to progress. So I want to talk about developing relationships with a database systematically. And when I say systematically, some of you may be thinking, isn't that a bit of a contradiction? How do you build genuine relationships systematically? You know, aren't systems impersonal? So the most important relationship to me, other than my relationship with my Creator, is my relationship with my wife. Now, I love my wife. I want her to be happy. I want to affirm her. I want her to feel loved. Now, I know, and gentlemen, you know this too, that one of the ways that a husband shows his wife that she is loved and valued is he buys her flowers regularly. You do know this, gentlemen? Regularly, yes. So now, I don't know if any of you are like me. You get into like task mode. I get into my box, and I'm in my task, and I'm not thinking about the important things, but the urgent things, and I can go 3, 5, 6 months without buying my wife flowers, and something will shake me out of it. So what I did was, a long time ago, is I implemented a system, a little reminder on my computer that pops up once a month. Buy Danielle flowers. Oh yes. It rips me out of my task box, and it's, oh yes, and then I'll do it. So now my wife gets flowers every month from me. Now I want to ask you this. Does that mean it's not sincere? Just because I've got a system? No. Does it mean I don't love her, that she shouldn't appreciate it as much? No. It just means I don't remember everything, and I need help. I need help. And some of you need help too. Now I want to ask you this. If I can't remember to do the important relational things with one person and I live with her, how are you going to remember to do that with 100 people who you don't live with? Think about that. I'm telling you now, if you want to work by referral using the system that I teach, you are going to need a system. You're going to need a system which breaks down to daily and weekly goals that are on a list, and you work through it systematically every week. Now, we'll get into that in the Successful Real Estate Agent Seminar, what that whole system looks like. So, the way to progress a relationship from know to like to trust is through regular or consistent contact, which adds value to the other person. Which adds value to the other person. Okay, so if your predominant question that you're going around each day within your head as you're thinking about your advocates, your 150 to 100 people you're going to building this relationship with, if your predominant thought is, how can I be a blessing to them? How can I add value to their lives? Now, there is some science around it, okay? I'm not going to get into that today. There is some thinking, some strategy around what kind of communication you have with them. But if your predominant thought is, I am going to serve these people, I'm going to be a blessing to them. And in the process, I'm going to show that I am a very good real estate professional. So you're proving your ability, not just your kind of character. If you do that consistently, you will, over a period of sort of 6 to 12 months, begin to work exclusively by referral. Because you're earning the trust of a group of people that at some point, once you've earned their trust, you've transitioned them from knowing you to liking you to trusting you, and that takes time. Once you're at that trust level, you then have permission to what?
Engagement.
Okay? Tell me, Lee, you have permission to ask for a referral. You have permission to ask for their support for your business.
Yeah.
One of the problems with real estate professionals is that they want to jump directly to ask. And this is not just real estate, these are salespeople. We under stress, we've got this thing going on, we need business, and so we want to jump to trust before we have earned the right. So this system is an authentic way, and yet a systematic way, of building genuine trust with 50 to 100 people, and then over a period of some months, beginning to ask for their support for your business, and they will be happy to give it to you, because you've genuinely earned their trust. I call this business the old-fashioned way. It's genuine. There's nothing to hide. It's about caring for people, serving them, but being serious about your own business. Serious enough to have some dialogues that you use that keep your communication clear so that you can get business proactively from them. Many real estate agents fail to succeed because they do not have daily activity goals. Activity goals. You must have what I'm going to call a TAP session, Trusted Advisor Program. Trusted Advisor Program. That's what my system's called. And I'm going to recommend you have a TAP session every single day, 2 hours in the morning, where you do a series of activities that are designed to remind you, like my reminder, buy your wife flowers, remind you to do the important things with your database to keep those relationships strong. You need daily activity goals. You've got to wake up in the morning with a plan. Too many estate agents don't wake up in the morning with a very clear plan of what they need to do today to build their business, not just now, not just solve the immediate crisis, but a long-term vision of things I'm doing every single day that will build my business extremely profitably long-term. You must have a vision. You must have a vision that translates into daily goals that you are just faithful with. Do you have that? Okay. I want to give you a little overview of our system. This is the apple tree. We use this little apple tree diagram as like an analogy of our system. It's actually a brilliant single-page space where our whole referral system can be seen in one place. It also communicates to you that everything that I'm going to teach through the Successful Real Estate Agent Seminar, because what we do is we just start filling in the blanks. It takes 7 hours to teach this system. Everything works together. This is not a bunch of good ideas thrown into a pot and you can kind of take some and leave others. This is a holistic system. Okay, so I'm going to give you an overview of the apple tree. So we're going into the apple business. You're going to be very excited about that. What are we looking for? Both start with an R. Referrals and what's the other one? Rands. Rands. We wanted to. Okay, the other one is repeat business. Remember, 42% people do it by referral, 24% do by repeat. So there we go. Repeats and referrals. Those are the two things we're after. Repeats and referrals. Now, if you want apples, you obviously have to have an apple tree. If you want repeats and referrals, you're gonna get them from somewhere, right? And what is that? A group of people. People are going to give you a repeat and referral business. So what do we call a group of people? Slightly technical terminology. We call that a database. So you're going to need a database. Now, you want a healthy apple tree. You can't just have sunlight, it'll die. You can't just have rainfall, it'll die. You've got to have sunlight and rainfall. Same thing with a database. If you want that database to have high leverage relationships where people trust you and they give you referral business, you have to have a combination of the following touch types. We call them touches, relational contact points. Right? On the left-hand side, this is your sunshine, is you've got to have a written communication plan. A written communication plan. So basically, we're going to send them stuff. To put it crudely, we're going to send them stuff. Now, if you want to build genuine, deep, long-lasting, value-based relationships, yes, you can send valuable stuff, but is it enough just to send written communication to a database of people? Obviously not. What do you need to combine written communication with? Say it?
Physical.
Coffee.
Okay, physical contact, coffee. Okay, some of it can also be telephonic, so it doesn't have to be face-to-face. I'm going to put this into a broad category which we call personal contact. Personal contact. Personal contact. Now, on the Successful Real Estate Agent seminar, I'm going to teach you 6 written communication tools, the major 6 ways you have written communication with your database, and I'm going to teach you, in conjunction with that, how to follow up with 3 main types of personal contact, and one of them has got 3 subsets that we're going to go through together. Those things combined together with what I'm going to show you now, the little dude going up into the apple tree to actually go and get those apples. They don't come on their own, you've got to go and get them. Okay? I'm going to teach you a 12-week cycle. A 12-week communication cycle that you implement with your 100 advocates, that if you are consistent with that, 6 to 12 months, your business will explode. That's how simple it's going to get. By the end of that seminar, you're going to have a little red block where we have some weekly goals. And it accounts for a 12-week cycle. Now, I did mention to you, apples don't come to you on their own. Same with repeat and referral. We don't want to work by word of mouth. We want to work proactively by referral. What do you need if you're going to be... I don't know how to ask this question. If you want referrals, you have to ask for referrals. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to use certain research-proven, pre-planned dialogues. One of the most important discussions we're going to have on the seminar together is this thing of dialogues. And I'm going to teach you 6 scripted dialogues that you can use that have been proven with thousands and thousands and thousands of agents. We know they work if you will just memorize them and use them at the right moments. I'm going to teach you these 6 major high leverage dialogues. Okay, that right there is an absolutely fantastic overview of what a referral system looks like. Okay, the database. Let's talk a little bit about here. I want to get you started. If you're very excited and you want to start now immediately,
Yes.
okay, so here's the first things you do. Number 1, you're going to build, so this is on the top of page 4 in your manual, the first 4 steps towards creating a responsive database. Number 1, build. What is that? Make a list. So if you see under there, step number 1, building your database, one of the most fruitful exercises you will ever do in your business is to make a written list. Make a written list of everyone you know personally. Shoot for 500 names. If you like them, if you don't like them, it doesn't matter. If they would recognize your full name, hi, it's Stephen Johnston speaking, they would know who they were talking to, their name goes on the list. I don't know if you've ever done that exercise. You might be surprised how many names some of you think 500 names, I'll never do. I promise you, you go through your Facebook friends and your LinkedIn profile and you'll get there in no time at all. You make a list of every person you know. Don't prejudge, just put the names down. We're going to sort it later, okay? And then that's number 2. You are then going to sort that database. And on the seminar, I'm going to teach you how to do that. You get some colored highlighters, and there's certain people you're looking for. I'm going to show you who those people are. So that's the bottom of page 4, sorting your database. 3 broad categories that you're going to be sorting out. Number 1 is your A's, or as I call them, your advocates. Because these are people who are going to advocate for you in your business. Your advocates. Who are your advocates in your workbook? The people most likely to use you themselves and refer you to others. So as you're going through this list, that's who you're looking for. who are the people most likely to use me themselves or to refer me to others? Now, at the seminar, I'm going to give you a couple of other questions that are going to help you find who those people are. We'll get there. There was a guy that implemented our system. He came on the coaching program. He had 440 people on his database. 440. He thought, I've got a great database, 440. But we looked at that. No, he doesn't have any great relationships in that 440 because you can't build relationships with 440 people. So, got him to pare that database down to 42 A's, 42 advocates to start with, and they started building it up from there. He built value-based, long-term relationships with those 42 people in a far more intentional way. In the next 12 months, he got 308 referrals. That's what happens when you build relationships of trust with people, with the right people. And that's what sorting the database is about. So that's your next big step. Sort it down to hopefully between 50 and 100 advocates. That's what you're shooting for. B's, people worth investing your time in. I'm going to do a blog this week on a B category list strategy. Keep an eye on my website. And then D's, people to be deleted from the database. You don't have to work with everyone. I don't know if you've ever worked with someone in this industry. I think the technical term for them is an unpleasant individual. Yeah, have you dealt with an unpleasant individual before? Well, the beauty of working by referral is you can choose who you work with. You work with people who show you respect, who treat you as you want to be treated, as you deserve to be treated, as a professional. Okay. That's what being a trusted advisor to people allows you to do. You're not begging for business. You're invited in and you're welcome to say no. Written communication. I've probably got about 3 minutes left. Capture is the third one. Prime is the fourth one. You don't have to write those down. We're going to do that on the seminar. Okay, what it looks like. Capture and prime. I do want to just give you one little technique you can use now, other than building and sorting your list, which you can all start doing. Here's one thing that you can go and do today that will make a meaningful difference in your business, and that is this thing of handwritten notes. Let's talk about handwritten notes for a second, and then I'm going to finish it. Understand and apply this simple principle. There is no more powerful way to continually deepen relationships with your advocates than by sending personal handwritten notes regularly. Some of you do this. Most of you probably don't. Maybe some of you have done it from time to time. If I've got anything to do with it, am going to see you implement this as a daily discipline in your business. That you begin writing handwritten notes, multiple handwritten notes a day. Yes, to your advocates, and that's part of that 12-week cycle I'm going to teach you. There's a handwritten note built into that 12-week cycle. But also with people who are not advocates. So just with people who are doing things, someone who meant something for you or did something the previous day and you thought that was good, you send off a handwritten note. I want to change one of your daily habits to affirm and thank people through the use of handwritten notes. Why? Forget about the cocoons and all that. We'll do that at the course. Handwritten notes always touch people emotionally. You just think about the last time you got a handwritten note. How did it make you feel? You felt affirmed. Why? Because that person took time and they devoted it to me. This is not bulk produced. This is not mass mailing. It's not impersonal. It's not mail merged. There's no shortcut to this. This person gave me some of their time and they devoted some thought to me. Now, listen to this, please. My system requires that you transition a relatively large group of people, not one person, my wife, a relative 50 to 100 people, from knowing you to liking you to trusting you. Now, I challenge you to find one technique that is more powerful, takes less time, and costs less money than doing that with a relatively large group of people than having a daily discipline of sending handwritten notes. I challenge you to find one technique that will do it that effectively. You will not find it. You can take someone to the rugby or have them around to your house to Kea for a braai. You can't do that with 100 people. You're going to need to find high leverage activities that cost relatively little, that take very little time, but have very high emotional impact on people. Handwritten notes. You overlook this at your peril. Make a start today. Go get yourself a stack of handwritten notes, and every time you have an interaction with someone, a phone call, Even if it's a brief interaction with someone in a coffee shop, you shoot off a handwritten note. Hey, it was great seeing you again today. Glad to hear things are going well, Stephen. You're not asking for business. You're building relationships. You're blessing people. Okay, I mean, I could keep going all day, but let's stop it, shall we?